We launched the brand April 2nd, 2019, and we started off with a single product with two different SKUs. This one actually wasn't one of the first ones, but the original product was a laundry detergent in a strip form, and we were really like the first company to bring this aggressively to the market. There's been a bunch of people that have kind of copied or followed in our footsteps since, but we're the only product that is manufactured in North America and is patented. But yes, we launched in April of 2019, and the business grew incredibly quickly. Like we were anticipating that it was going to be like a side of the desk little business, and instead it wound up growing to an 8-figure run rate, like doing more than $1 million a month within less than a year. So it grew, like the trajectory of growth was absolutely insane. And here we are 4 years and a few months later, and we did a round of funding last year to help us grow some more. And yeah, we're continuing to grow. Obviously, not at the same pace as 2019 pre iOS 14.5 days, but we're still moving, and it's been an awesome journey to build a brand that is something that I can be proud of, because its mission is to eliminate single-use plastic waste, and I think to date we've eliminated approximately 107 million plastic containers from entering landfills and oceans.
Did you say zero to 8 figures in 12 months?
Yeah. We did. I think we did over $1 million in DTC within like 9 months, like just in like a single month, not including Amazon or wholesale or anything like that. It was an insane trajectory.
That's crazy, man. How did you scale it up so quickly, or was it just that you were able to produce quite a lot of it and you were fortunate in the supply you chose?
Yeah, I mean the manufacturer, that was the only product they were putting together, so there wasn't too big of an issue with production. Obviously 2019 is a little bit different than today in terms of how well the acquisition models work in comparison to, things are a little bit different now. So we were able to like pretty rapidly scale the product, just like bootstrap. So literally self-funded. And obviously there was, when you self-fund, there's a lot of like stick handling cash to make sure that you're healthy. But it was primarily on the backs of Facebook, Google, some influencer stuff, but pretty simple. I wish I could tell you that it was like some complicated secret sauce, but it's the basics.
Did you go? I'm surprised you went DTC first. I'm surprised your plan wasn't retail, wholesale straight out of the gate. Is that right? You just thought go DTC? What was the feedback loop there when you did that?
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, like between myself and my partners, we just didn't have a lot of experience in wholesale. Like me personally, like retail. Sorry, I had literally zero. My background was primarily D2C. So like subscription products, print magazines with subscriptions, subscription boxes, and it just made sense to go with what we knew. I had never even put a product on Amazon before for this brand, and it's funny because the first time that we put something up there, it was probably 3 months after we launched, and I went on vacation with my family, and I just threw it up there, and I'm like, oh, I should probably like take a look and see how it's doing. And I looked at my phone, I'm like, holy crap, we did like $500 today. I didn't even do anything. Like, where did this come from? And I was like, oh my God, this is like an opportunity that I like just was completely unaware that I obviously knew about Amazon. I just never traversed that path.
Amazon or Facebook? Which one would you cut from your business? If you had to cut one, Facebook ads or Amazon?
I mean, I'm still D2C first guy. I think that there's like a lot of Amazon's obviously a mammoth beast. I think that D2C is actually more difficult in a sense, or so I hear, but that's again, like, it's like if you had to go into like a hardware store and pick one tool because you know how to use it the best, that like D2C would be, and I guess obviously Facebook would be the hammer that I would choose.
And what's the company split nowadays in terms of channels? What percentage is allocated D2C, wholesale, Amazon?
Yeah, we're still primarily D2C. I would say that, God, Amazon's probably like 20. I'm trying to think. Wholesale's probably around 20, and then the rest is D2C. Those are rough numbers. I don't know I don't have the exact split in front of me, but those, like Amazon and retail, are both growing pretty aggressively.
And are you still focusing most of your attention on D2C, or is that shifting just at the moment to maybe some other channels?
No, like I think that like if you set up your ecosystem properly, that pushing one winds up like rising tides raise all ships or whatever, right? Like I find that whether it's like Facebook ads or TV or Google, there's a halo effect that happens, and Amazon just grow. Like Amazon will grow just as a result of there's like 20 or 30% of people that will only buy from Amazon. So they see your ads, they go and Google it, they find it, they wind up buying there. And same thing with retail, like especially with our product that's for those that can see, like it's a strip. People don't like go to the grocery store and go down the laundry detergent aisle and then like peruse and go like, I wonder what's new in laundry this week. Like it's you go down, you grab the thing that you use on a regular basis, and then you buy it and you get the hell out of the smelly laundry detergent aisle. So the building creative that goes beyond just D2C is really what's, I think, been valuable for us. And furthermore, to kind of like dig a little deeper on that, I don't think that retail is the ultimate solution for every single brand. With a category like ours, we had to do a lot of education in order to drive people to stores or to give them enough awareness to look for it. But with that said, the decision to go into retail is largely based on what percentage of your vertical is purchased through that mechanism, right? Like 80% of laundry is bought at retail. So to not be in retail, you're missing out on a massive segment of your potential audience.
How much of a challenge was it? I mean, I feel like we've been conditioned, certainly since I can remember, to buy detergent as a liquid or as a tab. I don't know when the tab was brought into invention, but it makes some sense. How much of a challenge was it for you to overcome that, in that your offering was essentially a strip? Psychologically, to me, just being completely honest, it instantly puts a barrier up. So I'm like, how's that going to clean my
how is this going to clean clothes, right? And again, I don't know who can visually see this, but this is a strip of laundry detergent. If you're watching the video,
it looks a little bit like if you pulled off some of your grandma's wallpaper and cut it into a sort of half an iPhone shape square.
Yeah, it's about 2 to 3 grams. Like I want to say like 2 inches by about 4.5 inches per strip. And like when we were originally approached to work with this product, the first thing that I thought is exactly what you thought. I'm like, how is that going to wash my clothes? And I think like that's one of the reasons why having a solid guarantee is super valuable, because that is like, I know as like a guy that probably, like, I'm probably not the biggest laundry detergent researcher prior to buying a laundry product up until this product. And I would have just made that assumption. But after doing the research, you when you look into it, there's only so much the active ingredient, which is a surfactant, that you can actually put in your laundry before it just gets rinsed down the drain. Like it no longer has any impact. So these are basically, these have been pre-dosed to basically provide the right amount of surfactant per load. And again, the first thing that I thought is exactly what you thought. And we brought them, they sent the patent holder sent us a bunch of samples in the beginning, and we tried it. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that this actually works. And again, that's totally one of the biggest challenges that we have, is like to demonstrate to people that this actually can clean your clothes.
I mean, presumably, it's not a particularly considered purchase, especially not when you have the real estate of D2C to really hammer home the uniqueness. And it's almost, if you haven't tried it, something fun to try. Will this work? Won't it work? You're not going to risk your house on it. But in retail setting, it's a bit different, isn't it? Because you've got very little real estate to be able to communicate what it is and how it's going to work. People conditioned just to buy what they always buy. So how have you navigated that? Is it with landing pages and social proof and all those things, and you see that spill over to retail, or are you starting to see people open up a bit and try new things in the aid of, is your biggest USP plastic reduction, would you say?
Yeah, it's plastic reduction. It's space saving. It's like a lot of people spill their detergent when they're cleaning it. Like little kids like to eat pods because they look like candy. But I think one of the tough parts with retail, again, it's like when you walk down the laundry detergent aisle, it's like a wall of these huge jugs. So just by virtue of the size that they are, they like command all of this real estate, which is also marketing opportunity for the companies that have that space. And so it's kind of a blessing and a curse, because we can go to retail locations and say like, listen, our product, you can fit like 80 containers, right? Sorry, 80 packages or more in the same spot that you can hold like 4 containers of your traditional detergent. So your price per lineal foot is actually crazy higher. So you don't actually need to move as many to justify having this in your retail location. So like that's been a path to getting it into stores. But really, at the end of the day, the big thing is really just educating people that this is that this is something they can buy. And just recently, I think Nielsen, they do a lot of the data on different markets and whatnot. We because of what we've built, we are the first new laundry product to be put into these the laundry detergent reports since pods made their way into the market, or so I've heard internally in announcements at the company. I haven't validated that. I never paid for the Nielsen data, but I've heard that that's going around the company right now.
So now you're the king laundry man. What things have you learned about doing laundry that surprised you or interested you? Just, I'm imagining you spent a lot of time there.
Yeah. So I've been on TV a few times and they've called me a laundry expert. My wife didn't agree. So I learned that my wife doesn't agree that I'm a laundry expert. What else have I learned? I've learned a lot about like the underlying mechanisms, how laundry works. And it's it's pretty exciting, like but no, we've produced a couple other products off the back of this. Like we just recently came out with a fabric softener, and a fabric softener introduces a lot of technical challenges because I'm not going to nerd out too hard on it, but like essentially a surfactant tries to push all the dirt away from the clothes, and a fabric softener. So like you typically put your fabric softener in the fabric softener area in your washing machine, and it would go in after the wash cycle to soften it. So we actually made one, which is crazy, that actually uses the surfactant to, again, I'm not a scientist here, but it actually reacts with the chemical in laundry detergent. So you can put it in together and you don't have to like do some sort of song and dance to get it in afterwards. And it actually behaves positively with the surfactant instead of negatively, which was, I don't know if there's a lot of other technologies out there that can soften clothes in the same mechanism, but we had to fly all the way across Canada, which is enormous, and spend a week with the scientists and like going through like what are the important things for us and what aren't, and then like doing all these blind tests. And I got COVID, and which actually was remarkably not so bad. But that's what I went through. Getting COVID to release these products. But I don't know. Like the answer to your question is not really that fun. Like laundry is the second most hated chore in North America. There's not a whole lot I can say to really spice it up.
Rewind really is table stakes for any e-commerce store. It backs your store up consistently, and it offers you an undo button just in case something was to go wrong on your store, which, let's be honest, can happen. And it also provides you a staging environment so that you can have a carbon copy of your live environment to do all your good testing on, your QA, try new ideas, and not have to worry about breaking something on the live environment. Check code conflicts, app conflicts, everything in between. It's a must-have. Go and install it. Well, yeah, I mean, there's always these myths, so I don't know, but there's the ones that I come across, which is if you use fabric softener, you can't dry your clothes or tumble dry your clothes because it will remove the softening agent. It's not a myth, so that's true. Okay, right, that makes sense.
Yeah, so actually, basically, when you're making this fabric softening product, you have a choice. Like, how soft do you want to make this? Because it's essentially lubricating the outside of the clothing, so it's like bonding these like things to it, but you still want your towels to dry your clothes. And I've like bought towels before that like I went to dry myself off, and it just felt like the water was like not sticking to them. I think that's what you're talking about. So you basically have to choose like what's the happy medium. We still want the clothing to have the performance of the clothing or how it was designed, but you also want it to have some softening effect so that people feel like they're getting a softener. So it's really like sciencing down to like, how do we make this soft enough so that it makes people happy, but not so soft that their clothes have like an oleophobic property to them.
Oh man, keep making them softer. I'll take the softest clothes you can make. Just wrap me up, just like a giant blanket of clothes. I'd love it. Yeah, I didn't use fabric softener until quite recently, really, and I've just learned I've been using it very wrong because I usually then tumble dry. So, public service announcement: look at the knowledge you gain from listening to this podcast. Don't tumble dry your clothes if you're using fabric softener. Just before we get into Prime, talk to me about scents. Do you scent them? If you do, how do you choose the right scents to use?
That's a good question. So we originally launched with one scented and one unscented, and then we did wind up launching a third scent, which is Lilac Breeze, which is purple. Smells very purple. From a scent perspective, there's a big percentage of people that like fragrance-free clothes, and then there are people that are like obsessed with things that smell well. And like, as you've probably seen, like all the Bounty Unstoppable commercials, and there's a whole bunch of different products now that are really focused on scent. We've never really leaned too hard into it. Like we could add something called an encapsulated scent, which would be more potent, but we've always kind of been trying to maintain like a hypoallergenic stance so that the product, like too much scent isn't good for the environment either. So we're trying to keep a happy balance, keep people's allergies at bay, and try to provide mild, gentle scents that delight people and, you know, make them want to continue sniffing our packages.
That's a good sentence. I want to reword that one on the next podcast. But yeah, no, I mean, for sure. And it amazes me that these companies such as yourselves are able to create a scent that binds to clothing and lasts for at least a few hours and smells great. You can buy a $100 bottle of parfum and it's, you know, gone within a matter of minutes. So it's wizardry for sure. But I enjoy a scent when I can remember to do it. There's something about it, but there are, like you said, environmental.
What's your preferred scent?
They always have such ridiculous names, like autumn blossom mornings or like, you know, elephant's breath. So I don't know what is it, how you meant to, like, it smells kind of like a papaya meets you know, fresh wind.
Yeah, like a papaya breeze. Like, you know, the funniest thing, man, is trying to name these scents. So like the reason why it's funny is because everything is friggin' trademarked. It's insane. Like every possible combination of breeze, spring, like everything, it's just, they're all gone. And like we were joking around, like with Lilac Breeze, like one of the names were like, let's call it Pussy Willow Breeze. And I was like, that one might get taken out of context, but
playing fast and loose there, you might end up in the wrong shops if you do that.
Yes, people definitely be sniffing your package if you're doing something like that.
All right, let's not get bogged down in potential cancellation of EcomGold. Let's move swiftly on to Prime Day. Is that a day that you will be focusing on? Is that part of your calendar?
Yeah. So honestly, in the past couple of years, we've obviously spent more money during Prime Day. We've spent more money during, like, on our D2C side during Prime Day and stuff. But historically, we never participated in the actual discounting because we've always had this belief that we didn't want to excessively discount our product in order to, you know, make sales. And I think that's a common thing for some people. But this year we're planning on participating. Have they actually released the date yet? I know that they are speculating, or last I was talking to our PR company, they were speculating on what the date is. I'm not sure if it's actually been announced yet, but we will be participating this year. But I think we're going to be, because I have this great hatred for deep discounting and training people to wait for sales, I think we're going to be going with playing with the idea of bundling.
On Amazon. It's just Google it, July the 11th and July 12th, Tuesday and Wednesday, 2023.
Yeah, so typically that's generally how we do our sales, like our D2C sales are either with like bundling or like free gifts. And instead of discounting, we offer you know, something extra with it. I know that Amazon, to participate in Prime, you need to be like at least 20% off. So yeah, our goal is to include some of our newer products mixed with our traditional products at a better rate.
And are you talking about doing this on your own store or on Amazon?
No, both. So this could be like a massive roll of the dice, but you know, I think at the end of the day, this gets us an opportunity to get more listings, to get more real estate when people are searching for our brand, and gives us an opportunity to give a discount. But and you know, I think there's a lot of people that, like myself included, that will buy products during Prime Day that I've like kind of considered, but like was waiting for a reason to do it. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity to introduce new customers to multiple new products at the same time. And yeah, see, that's kind of the plan.
So you're going to put together some kind of Prime Day bundle, do some images, and put that up as a once-off or first introduction product for Prime Day and discount that total bundle price on Amazon, right? Yep. And are you going to be building landing pages? Are you going to be talk to me about the D2C site. What are you going to do for conversion rate optimization, do you think?
Yeah, so you know, historically, what we do when we do one of these sales is obviously we whip up a landing page that's geared towards whatever the event is, and sometimes our designer or developer will kind of come up with some sort of creative new idea. So when those happen, we actually will split test. So we'll have an A and a B, and if the sale runs for say 5 or 6 days, we'll based on the volume of traffic that we send to it, we can generally get a pretty good idea in like a day or so which model works better, and then focus all the traffic on that one moving forward.
Nice. Okay. And in terms of your landing pages that you've used previously, what have you found to be the most effective specifically for you guys in terms of elements on the page, things that you sort of include on every landing page, social proof, UGC? Does that work for you guys? Like, just can you give us a list, kind of rundown of your pages and what works well?
Yeah, for sure. So usually we have some sort of logo near the top because obviously a sales event is typically going to perform the best with people that are brand aware already. We usually put some sort of logo tied to what the event is. So if it's like Valentine's Day, or if it's like Earth Day, or if it's whatever Prime Day, we'd have something up there specifically stating why these deals are available. And then if it's less than a couple, like 5 or 6 days, sometimes we'll put some kind of timer, just denoting when the sale is going to end. I find that if you have more than like 5 days, people tend to be like, oh, I can just put this off, wait till later. So if the sales, 5 days might even be pushing it, but 3-4 days, I like to put a timer on there just to let them know, drive up the urgency a little bit. And then I like to use what I call top down selling. So or another term for it's like price anchoring. So we'll put the most expensive bundles at the top. We also know which bundles generally perform the best, so we usually put those at the top with usually some sort of like free gift. And so as you go down the page, the offers get less expensive, and we usually see like our AOVs at least double during these periods in comparison to just casual shopping.
What's the psychology behind that? Where does that come from?
The financial part, like the top down selling, like the price anchoring.
Price anchoring at the top.
Excuse me. Sorry, my throat. So price anchoring is just a psychological bias, right? So if you start with something that's expensive, and the person looks at it and thinks it's expensive, as the price decreases, as they scroll down the page, like, okay, that's reasonable. If you start with something high, everything else seems low as they go down. And then somebody who's more logical and wants to see like, oh, what's the price per load, or like, what's the value? They'll, kind of do some comparisons, and they'll realize, okay, well, this actually makes the most sense for me. I know I'm going to do laundry for a year. I might as well just take this larger bundle, kind of like a Costco shopper, and then not worry about having to buy laundry products for the next year. Oh, and it's pretty cool. I also get this other product for free to try as a result of making a bigger purchase.
Okay, that makes sense. So logo, you change, you style it in the theme of the sale. What advantages does that bring? Because that's something that I don't see many people do. Why would you?
I missed that. Why do we don't stylize the logo? We'll have the logo, and then we'll have just like the name of the event, or like the reason why. So like, again, I can't remember what the psychological principle is, but Robert Cialdini wrote a book. I think it's like 50 Ways to Yes or something like that. He's the same author as Persuasion and Influence, and they did a study where if people are waiting in line for whatever, and you go up and you ask to go in front of them in line, if you give them any reason whatsoever, like, can I go in front of you? I'm late for something. 95% of people comply. If you go up and you say like, hey, can I go in front of you? I don't want to wait. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's just the fact that there's a reason, and you're saying it immediately makes it difficult for somebody to bust the objection. If you just go up and say, can I go in front of you? People will be like, no, go to the back of the line. But as soon as you say the reason why, it's the same thing with a sale. Like if you don't say that this is tied to a specific event, they may believe that, in the world of e-commerce where people are constantly trying to manipulate people into making, or manipulate them into making a purchase, denoting specifically what it's for, and then that person being able to connect the dots. Oh, it's Prime Day, or oh, it's Thanksgiving, or oh, it's Black Friday. They're like, okay, that logic makes sense. I should probably, and I'm interested in this product, I should see what's available. And
how many units do you try and shift? I liked what you said before about people reasoning with themselves about, oh, I'm going to do laundry for the rest of my life. I may as well purchase 6 months worth of this because I'm going to need it, and it's at a discount. So have you worked out what your kind of point of diminishing returns is for how many units you try and get someone to buy in that Prime Day transaction, or really any other sale transaction? Or is it usually just one unit?
Yeah. So like, surprisingly, the customer journey, a lot of times it looks like they'll start with like a 32 or like an 8, a smaller pack, kind of like in a trial environment. And then once they've kind of like decided that this is for them, a lot of times when we do one of these events, they'll take the 384, which is, if you're a single person, that's a hell of a lot of laundry. If you have a family of 4, that's statistically a family of 4 does about 1 load of laundry per day. Not like, it might not be every day, but like on Saturday you might do like 3 loads, and Sunday you might do 2, and then you might do sheets a couple times during the week, or towels, super soft towels. But on average, and the reason it was 384, not 365, which would have been one a day, was initially when we first started, we didn't have a 384 box. We were just giving 12 32 packs. So that's how it started. Kind of where we still are. It's probably a little bit too much, but it works.
Half a decade ago, when I was messing around with Magento, we were quoting apps at 60,000 per platform, iOS, Android, designed and developed, starting from. And companies were buying them because it was such an incredible return on investment. Now, in today's world, in the world of Shopify, TapCart exists. And it floored me when I heard that they were going to offer you the ability to have an app in under 4 weeks. Not only that they design it for you, at least the first version, and show it to you with a business case without you having to spend a penny. Seriously, you can go and check it out. Push notifications, retention, loyalty, it's all at your doorstep. And how good are you with your data then? So if you know someone's gone in and purchased that 384 pack, are you excluding them from campaigns like this, like Prime Day, in things like email marketing, SMS marketing?
To be honest, I'm not the one running the day-to-day on email now, but we do talk a lot about segmenting and trying to not hit those people with too many emails. The one thing that is cool about our product though, and why it's still valuable to offer these sales to people who have bought 384s is, I don't know if there's been another product in laundry detergent in like the last, I don't know how many years, that people are giving it to their family members for Christmas. Like it's insane how many like Facebook messages we get. Oh, my mom bought me this and put it in my stocking, but there's like a huge gifting culture tied to like laundry detergent. And it's weirdly novel. Like there's like this big Italian dude that teaches at the high school that I went to. And there's somebody that works with us whose son goes there, and he like sends us a picture of this big Italian dude. I can never in my wildest dreams imagine seeing this big dude holding like a box of laundry, but he's like holding a box of laundry and like pointing at it and smiling. Like I think the fact that it's so novel has transcended the I hate laundry so much that I don't like, it's just a crazy phenomenon.
Yeah, for sure. I think Moyes just on email came up with quite a good one that I saw on Twitter, which was the +1 concept, where they were emailing out their limited time offer. They sent their final email, offer closes in 2 hours or whatever, go and make your purchase. And then anyone that didn't open that email, the next day they'd send a final extension email, knowing that, with a discount code, rather than having the timer on the website, to just try and juice that last little bit, which I thought was quite clever, which was interesting.
Yeah, I think that the only problem I think with that is if you do that too much, then like, I know D2C, the world of D2C turns over so quickly, but I think you just got to be careful that you don't become known for being the brand that always has that, oh, we're still extending it one more time, I
think especially when you've got a product that is so frequently bought, has a high purchase frequency, it's less. If you're selling sofas, it makes more sense, but
totally.
Yeah. So is there anything you're doing or strategically planning to juice Amazon? Will you be allocating more spend to keywords on Amazon? Will you be creating a shop page on Amazon to try and drive traffic there to do some education? Or are you just going to free roll it?
Yeah, so we have a shop page and everything on Amazon. Again, I mean, our company's pretty big now. We have there's probably 120 people. So I don't know the exact specifics around like every strategy or every tactic that's going to be implemented, but we definitely are starting to put more resources to things like, I mean, it seems like a lot of people are doing this, but putting some resources towards like Google search, like direct to Amazon, some advertorials that offer the consumer an opportunity to either pick from Amazon or direct from D2C. And then you're also, I mean, we're not doing this yet, but like the pay with Amazon team is introducing some pretty interesting things. I don't 100% understand how it works yet, but I think that has some interesting future in the D2C space, where you can potentially leverage people that previously wouldn't buy from D2C with the buy with Prime. But we're not there yet. We're not touching it. It's still kind of like on the radar, but not enough to jump in.
Do you use FBA for Fulfilled by Amazon, or do you use? You do. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you? What have you found? I mean, how have you found that against using other 3PLs, if you ever did, or did you go straight into FBA?
So we use 3PLs for D2C, and then we use FBA for specifically for Amazon. There was a period. What happened? There was a period where we had to ship FBM briefly. I can't remember what happened, but I mean, FBM is there's a lot of rules you have to abide by to make sure that you you don't screw up and stay in Amazon's good books. But as a whole, like, I mean, the biggest challenge I think with FBA, there was a couple of issues during COVID where they were limiting stock. I think, again, I'm not in the day to day of the Amazon side, but I think that there still isn't quite the total allowable inventory that there used to be. So there's basically this cat and mouse game of like trying to make like being on top of inventory all the time. And then, in terms of like 3PLs, we have like one, two, I think we're in probably four 3PLs. One of the founders of True Earth has a 3PL here in Vancouver. So it operates kind of like Western Canada, Northwestern US. And then we have True Earth has its own 3PL in Mississauga, Ontario. And then we're using a couple different American 3PLs in the US to make sure that we get like delivery within a couple days. International, we have basically a company shipping all of our product in the UK and handling the as FBA there for Amazon. Australia, there's local distribution, and we're like all over Europe. I don't know the exact breakdown, but I think we're pretty much only FBA in North America, UK, and Australia. Although I don't think Amazon's huge in Australia.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, I heard that too. It's not as dominant as it is everywhere else. Just tell me a bit about your suppliers then. Have they been able to scale with you as you've grown this? Have you changed suppliers? Have you taken on the supply side yourself? Like what's the story there? Has it just been pretty smooth sailing?
Yeah, so our laundry detergent manufacturer, it's been the same ones the entire time they're in Canada, and then our dishwasher stuff we actually manufacture it ourselves. It was crazy when we launched the dish. We got a really large retail order, and it was like this race against the clock to manufacture enough. And like manufacturing is a completely different beast than running a DTC or Amazon business. Like
it's actually work, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I'm the one that did it, but like you start with like, okay, how many of these can we do? How many batches can we create in a day? And like, okay, well, we need this many to fill this order. So we need to figure out a way to produce this much more. And then like building the whole facility to handle it. And like it was crazy. Like, our team did like an amazing job handling it, but
just a quick question on that. Where did you get the cash to do it?
So we did a raise last year. And we'd partially cash flowed the cost to do it originally. And then we used some of the VC funds, I think, to push it over the edge. But yeah, like, honestly, like producing your own product is not cheap. Like, quite frankly, like if I was to go and like start from scratch, like, and not have any of this existing infrastructure to play this game, I'd be probably looking for somebody who had a product I could white label or like, customize. Cause like, I mean, it worked out. It's a great product. It just took a ton of resources, and I think it was stressful for a lot of people involved. But
how fine to the line did it get with cash flow and things? I know obviously you got VC money, so that takes some of the burden off. But was it touch and go for to get that bad, or was it? Because I've heard that most people who do this get pretty close to the wire with doing it. If you can get through it, then great. But was it without the VC money, I imagine impossible. But with the VC money, was it just like manageable but stressful? Was it really quite tough?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it would have been really, really tough if we didn't have the VC money. Like, we were doing it, and I think it was like, again, I don't have the financials in front of me, and I'm the CMO. I'm not the CEO, so I don't have every. And I'm one of the founders, but like, I just it's not really 100% my lane. But I don't know. It probably would have been challenging to finish it without the VC money, and then honestly, like the ramp up period, like you have all these delays trying to get the product out the door, and then somebody places a big order on the wholesale side, and it's like, we want to sell this D2C, but we can't launch it because we don't want to steal inventory from a huge retail purchase. So it was like trying to get the big challenge was really like, how do we get the manufacturing up like high enough over the rate that we need to sustain to fill that order, so that we can also simultaneously start selling direct. And it was a fun challenge.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, I would love to know a little bit about packaging design. I don't know if you were part of that team. How much has it changed, and what were the catalysts for change to get it to where it is today?
Yeah, good question. So originally, like it's funny, like again, we were not CPG guys. We were not like, we had one of our magazine graphic artists help us like come up with our logo and like our design, and we put the benefits that we thought were going to be the most valuable. We looked at some other products and tried to like, make sure that we checked all the boxes. And I mean, I think the biggest lesson is here is like, if you're gonna start a new business, there's gonna be a whole lot of stuff that you don't know how to do, but you're gonna have to do it anyways. And like, you can sit around and like read books and take courses and try to make sure that everything's perfect. But at the end of the day, nothing's going to move the ball faster than taking action. And at the end of the day, there was a few of us. We decided what we thought it was going to look like. Was it the best packaging? Probably not. We've since moved to, like, again, I didn't know all this stuff 4.5 years ago. We've now, we understand how we can validate packaging using tools like IntelliV. I don't know what other ones that are out there where you can have panels of people tell you which package they're the most drawn to, and you can do test after test after test after test in comparison to other brands that are similar until you consistently beat the other packages. And I mean, that's a huge way to get a leg up on Amazon, but it's also a huge way to get a leg up once you're in retail. And, at the end of the day, probably even D2C. But when we started, I had no idea that any of that existed. And we didn't even know specifically which benefits were the most important to our consumers because we were new. We could do as much research as we could find online. And other than that, it was like, let's roll the dice and see what happens. And here we are, 4 years later. And we're now trying to make sure that we follow proper best practices.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I mean, packaging is so difficult to get right. Retail, wholesale, DTC, Amazon, it's just there's so many conflicting. Do you ever break your packaging apart and optimize it specifically per channel? I know Unilever, we were talking before about how they optimize their mobile packaging and digital imagery. They increase the size of certain elements on the packaging so it's easily readable on a device for Amazon on mobile. There's like a whole industry around the nuances of packaging design. But do you use one consistent package across all channels, or do you break it down?
Yeah, good question. So like in Europe, like there's regulatory issues in a lot of different places. So we are moving towards like the US having US packaging that just has English on it. In Canada, we have like English and French. In the UK, I think we might have French on it too. But that's just actually, I don't remember, but the UK has different packaging too. Like I think like from a different channel, like retail versus Amazon versus D2C, we actually did in the beginning because our packaging, this one's been opened. So in the beginning, this is what the package looks like now. But in the beginning, this was like flat all the way down, and there was a piece of paper that attached here that could tear off. People can't see it on the back. It basically had a protective piece of paper that kind of stuck down to the bottom, and we would put the address on that piece of the paper, and it doubled as a mailer, so it was extra environmentally friendly. But it looks like crap when it's on a grocery store. So we had this more streamlined, easy to tear option for retail, and the human resources to manage like 2 or 3 SKUs. Like we have so many SKUs as is, but like to manage like it just added like a SKU proliferation nightmare. So we're trying to simplify it now, and just to you make one packaging change and you have to change a million different things. And actually, in line with that, we've got like some automation that packages the products and stuff. I think we're actually looking to have the package put the load count on when it's folding it, so that like we can have one standardized package and like not have to juggle so many different versions of everything,
Yeah, sounds like a headache. But this is what you have. This is what you pay people to do, right? One thing that just popped into my head while you were talking, you showed me the packages. I'd love to know how much waste there is with liquid detergents, because if you're anything like me, you fill it to the brim every time, because anything else would be ridiculous. If you actually did, it's like cereal. No one is eating the prescribed 30 grams of cereal, and no one is filling up their washing machines to the prescribed amount. I am filling that thing the whole way. I think probably use like 5 or 6 loads out of one of those big bottles. The same with conditioners. So I like the fact that you just launch a tab into the abyss, and that's all you need to do. There's no kind of measuring involved from a cost perspective, but also from a environment perspective. I guess that helps. Let's finish with a quick rapid fire, if that's okay with you.
Let's go.
Biggest mistake made to date in the business?
In True Earth, or like in any business?
Up to you.
Biggest mistake. Oh man. I would probably say the SKU proliferation. It's not that big of a mistake, but it's annoying.
Right. Worst advertising investment, True Earth?
Worst advertising. trying to think of like a bad campaign that we threw out there. I put some money in towards getting a documentary made, and then the guy, it's been a couple of years and it hasn't seemed like it's made any progress. So that was a pretty big waste of money.
Wait, just paid him and nothing happened, or?
Yeah, it was like, okay, well, that's not how usually this works.
All right. On the flip side of that, then the best advertising dollars that you spent.
So they're not online right now because we had some issues with some other brands that are very large that didn't like them. But we had about 1 billion views on some of our funny creative that we had produced. Like we had this video called, I'm sure if you Google it, you could probably find it on somebody else's channel, but like things you should never mix with water. It was huge. It had like hundreds, like it probably had like 10 million views in like a day. It was like out of control. I don't know if you can still find it. There's another one, Real Men Do Laundry. And there was another one that did really well. We called it Game Show. And it was like this Price is Right type setup. It was really awesome.
Future focus, closing out 2023. Where will the company be if it's achieved everything it wants to achieve?
I think it would be nice if we were in majority of the large retailers in the United States. We're in a considerable number of them, but not quite all of them.
Final thing.
I just thought of another bad mistake that we made.
Okay, please.
Okay, so this one's like a little bit funnier. So we did those 2 first funny videos, and I was like, we need to do something a little bit different. I want to get like Purple Mattress did an ad that had like a Sasquatch or like something like that in it. So I'm like, I want to do a Sasquatch video. Like we got to do a Sasquatch video, and and so I spent like $3,000 making this Hollywood Sasquatch mask that could only be used 2 times because the way the mouth and everything connected. And the Sasquatch looked like a dying coyote. Like it just looked unhealthy. And like he was eating like beans off the table and it looked like poop.
Oh,
and like, man, we were getting like hate emails from people saying like, I will volunteer to make you new ads. Like, I can't believe you put a dying Sasquatch and like try to convince us to buy like this multi-surface cleaner. And like, it was just, I'm pretty sure that ad's still on YouTube, but like it was just a disaster. And it was not cheap. Like it cost us, it was like a high production video, but
did you use the Harmon Brothers?
Pardon me?
Did you use the Harmon Brothers?
I didn't, but I used somebody that I met through the Harmon Brothers to do it. And I've been on Harmon Brothers podcast as a result of some of the content that we've created. But no, but the tip is to never use ugly creatures to sell your product because nobody wants to see a dying Sasquatch eat poop.
No, I can imagine. Final thing, anything you can drop, give away to the audience that maybe is a bit of secret sauce for yourself, something you might have learned over the years, something you found that really works. A little tip, no matter how big or small, could be to do with anything that you can drop for everyone listening, if they make it this far. Yeah.
I got a video that I'm going to be releasing soon, but I'll give like the you don't see a lot of people talking about risk reversal outside of monetary risk reversal. So there's 5 types of risk that you can reverse in order to limit people's perception of the risk that they face when buying a product. And there's an acronym for it. It's timer. T is for time. How much time is it going to take me to buy and use this product? Is it going to take 2 weeks for it to arrive? Is it going to take 3 weeks to arrive? This is a gift for somebody. How can I bust that? How can I reverse that risk? And 1 day delivery in the US or whatever. Also, time in terms of like fitness products. You look at like something like the Ab Flex from the early 90s, it was like the time it takes you to get the result, like abs in 3 minutes a day. So like time is a big risk. Identity is a risk. When somebody buys your product, is it in line with who they believe that they are or who they want to be? If I'm an environmentally focused person and you're trying to pitch me on this amazing new plastic product, even if I love the idea of it, I'm going to have dissonance tied to making that purchase because I identify as somebody that doesn't use plastic. So how do you bust identity related risk? M, monetary. That's the one everybody uses. Don't like the product, we'll give you your money back. And that's one of the bigger ones, and that's why everybody uses it. E is for energy. How much energy am I going to consume in order to get the benefits of this product? So if True Earth was a laundry detergent and it wasn't in a strip form and it was like this magical clay that I had to spend, every time I went to go do my laundry, roll it up, put it in a package and like put it into the washing machine. That's energy. It's kind of like people who roll their own cigarettes. Most people won't buy it because I don't smoke, but like when you're rolling cigarettes, that takes energy to do it. So how do you eliminate the energy risk? And then the last one's reputation. And this is like the three big ones are time, money, reputation. Reputation is how you think people are going to perceive you if you do this thing. So I'll use the environmentally friendly thing again. Like if I am eco-friendly and I'm secretly obsessed with these like single-use plastic spoons, I'm not going to have people over to my house and break these out or take them out to lunch at a picnic, because how I think people are going to perceive me is important to me, tied to this particular thing. So that's another type of risk that you can bust. So people don't usually think about all the different risks associated with making a purchase when they're trying to sell somebody something. And it's low hanging fruit to kind of like interlay this into your offer, ways that people are not going to, like, basically busting these objections so that people feel 100% confident that the product is right across all 5 of these potential risks.
Surely washing out the objections, destaining the objections would be more for the laundry king. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Where can people find more content like that?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube if you just search my name, Ryan Mckenzie. I'm on Twitter, RYEMCKENZIE, or ZIE, depending on where you are. Yeah, or you can go to get some laundry detergent at tru.earth. There's no .com when there's no E on True. That's pretty much it.
Go check them out.